College football 24 is dead, and the football gaming world is in complete shock. What's going on, everybody? I am Dan, filling in for Yums today as he is out of town for the holiday. And today we're going to be covering some of the breaking news that we received this morning from EA Sports as they announced that their college football game will be postponed to 2024. The original date that we believe the game was going to drop was 2023. Does not look like that is going to be the case any longer. So the news of the postponement became official today with ESPN releasing an article in their conversation with the VP and GM of EA Sports, Daryl Holt, in which he gave a status update on where the game is at right now, and also announced the postponement to 2024. They spun it like it wasn't a postponement. They tried to spin it like this was something they planned all along. Not really the case. They had talked to licensees, or licensors rather, all the schools and even reporters about a 2023 release date. However, it does seem that 2024 is going to be the most likely release date, unfortunately, at this point. If you follow football gaming news at all, then you probably saw the tweet last night from a gentleman by the name of Matt Brown, who suggested that this was something that was going to happen today. He has also provided a follow-up article on this. We'll make sure to link it down below because we do want to give him his credit. But that is what we are going to be diving into today. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the way that Matt was able to obtain this information about the game getting delayed to 2024 was through a Freedom of Information Act on something completely unrelated to the game that he accidentally found. And he got access to this letter that was from EA sent to the athletic departments of the schools that have opted into the game thus far, basically thanking them for their patience and their interest, thanking them for the assets being provided, which makes me think that part of the process is done and that's not delaying the release. Also in this letter, they do confirm the date for the release of the game being 2024. Now, this is disappointing given that we were expecting a 2023 release, but they do reference a blog post in this letter, and in this blog post, they go ahead and give us more details about what's going on with the game. Now, they have confirmed over 120 FBS schools, all 10 FBS conferences, and the college football playoff to be included in the game. There does seem like there are some holdouts from the FBS side, and they also do reference the possibility for more teams or more programs in the future. Now, this could be FCS schools or HBCU or those FBS holdouts that I mentioned before. A couple final interesting pieces of information from this blog post. The first being how EA was able to get their audio for the game this year, as they were able to tap into on-site game day audio sources to provide that authentic, rich game day feel within the game this year. They were also able to confirm that Road to Glory and Dynasty Mode will be coming back. This is the first official confirmation from EA that these modes will be returning. Now, Matt was able to independently verify that ESPN is going to be providing on-air talent for this year's game. He confirmed that David Pollock and Reese Davis will be appearing in the game, and has also had multiple sources say that Kirk Herbstreet should be returning as well. Now, later on in the article, Matt does go on to surmise as to what the reason for the delay is, and his reasoning is just the overall size of the project. There's a ton of assets that they needed to collect and get into the game, and not only that, but they had to basically take all of the code down to the bare bones. They had to take it down to the studs, as he says, and completely build it back up from there, which is just a completely time-consuming process. And when we talk about taking it down to the studs, we're of course talking about the Madden engine itself. They're building this game off of the Madden engine, as we already know. Now, they're having to add in a whole bunch of different features to the game, as college playbooks is something that was mentioned in the article, are completely different. That is just one brief example. They have completely different animations, different play styles, and so the development team needs to take that into account, and they're trying to put that into the game. Matt has also had the opportunity to talk to some of the licensing professionals that have worked with this game over the summer. And while they do admit that the process for licensing the college players is much more complicated and time consuming than it is for Madden, this is not the major reason for the delay. Now, the root of the problem does seem like it lies in the size of the project. It is a lot of assets they need to install in the game, and they need to fine tune them and perfect them in order to provide that rich game day environment that EA is striving for. It's definitely frustrating that we're not going to be able to get our hands on this game until 2024, but I do think EA's approach to this should give us a bit of hope. After Madden flopping over the past few years, I think EA realizes that this is their best chance for redemption and that college football is the best candidate for them to right their wrongs. So if they're really taking their time to make sure that this product is as best as possible, I think we should really hold out a bit of hope. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this NCAA football update. Unfortunately, I could not bring you guys better news. We are going to have to wait a bit longer for the game. Let me know how y'all are feeling in the comment section down below there. Are y'all holding on to hope like me, or am I just delirious as hell? That is probably the case. If you want to see the top 10 wanted features in the next NCAA, go ahead and click right up here.